Welcome back to another epic episode of Mac Music Review. We're still doing this. We're still looking at the best albums of every year of the 2010s. And now we're at 2013. And you know what? 2013 was a cool year because we got some new faces in the world of music. We had some new artists were introduced. We really had some great revivals of really great artists who kind of just proved that they were great and once again kind of came back out of nowhere and showed the world that they actually are kind of awesome and they're a reason for them being really amazing. Some artists really evolved and just furthered their sound and changed in new cool ways. And yeah, it was a lot of that. It was a lot of evolution. It was a lot of new music, new artists, and a lot of old artists just kind of proving that they're the best and showing you why they, are well known and well loved. We'll kick off with the honorable mentions, which I'll try to do kind of fast, and then we'll go into the top 10. My first honorable mention is Run the Jewels, which is the self-titled either mixtape or album. Oh my goodness, I hate my camera. Either the mixtape or the album. I don't know how you identify it, but I'm just gonna say it's an album. I don't know. It's pretty cool. That's all I have to say about that. And then you have Paramore's self-titled album. Once again, I shouldn't say once again. I haven't even mentioned this yet. But Paramore's one of those bands that I can understand the appeal, but I've never been able to get into. I think I missed it. It really wasn't my time period. Like, me growing up in middle school, Paramore wasn't really... I don't know. It's like I was like a year or two late to think that Paramore was cool and to be into the Paramore hype train. But yeah, if I was a few years older, maybe, but no. It's in the honorable mentions though. It's a great album. Paramore's self-titled. Modern Vampires of the City is an album that I really have had a lot of trouble getting into. I know people love this album to death. People say it's one of the best albums of the decade. A lot of people say it's one of the best albums of the decade. I can't get into it. I still think their self-titled is the best. I actually like Father of the Bride more than this one. This really isn't my favorite, but it is a good album. And then AM by Arctic Monkeys, another band that I've had a lot of trouble getting into, but I have a brother who absolutely loves, two brothers who absolutely love the Arctic Monkeys. And so, of course, I've had this album playing in my head for a while, a lot of the songs I'm familiar with, and I've listened to it myself a few times, and I think it's a great album, just not worthy of, just not top 10 potential. Old by Danny Brown, a very, very cool Danny Brown album. I used to think it was the best one. Since then, I've come around after listening to it some more. Atrocity Exhibition is my favorite by him, but this is still a really good album and worthy of honorable mentions 2013. With Love by Zombie is one of the best electronic music albums of 2013. Once again, I keep saying once again, I'm not a big electronic music fan, but this is a great album and I can really vibe with this. It's kind of experimental, but also kind of bangs. It's kind of hype and kind of fun, so it's cool. Sunbather was Metacritic's album of the year, and I think it is a very, very good album. It's just kind of difficult to listen to and not really my genre. But if it was, it'd probably be on the list. But since this isn't the type of music I really listen to, this kind of hardcore, like metal type music, this kind of band like Deaf Heaven or Deaf... Oh, am I saying the name wrong? Don't kill me, please. Number 10. Kings and Queens by Audio Adrenaline. I'll try to link as many albums as I've reviewed in the description, because I've actually reviewed like a lot of the albums in this top 10, or if I haven't, I will review them in the future. They're on my schedule. But I've reviewed this one of the first albums I ever reviewed on the channel, and it is literally just really, really great Christian contemporary music that really goes above and beyond basically everything in the genre. This is an album that's actually very nostalgic for me. For some reason, I guess because a long time ago I only listened to like Christian contemporary music, and there was a song on this called, Kings and Queens, that had a heavy rotation on Christian radio because this was labeled as Audio Adrenaline's comeback album, even though it doesn't sound a thing like Audio Adrenaline at all. It's a completely different band, and that's not a problem because I actually like this better probably than any other Audio Adrenaline album. It's a comeback album, but really it's an entirely different band. Let me grab the hat. Let me do the... Oh, it's falling apart. I can barely even wear this hat anymore, but Let's just put it on. Instruments of Mercy by Beautiful Eulogy. To be completely honest, I don't love this album. I really don't, because it's honestly very difficult to listen to. Because the bars on this album, it's like the least accessible album ever. Because the lyrics are so heavy and deep and complex. And it's literally like you're getting like a really like in-depth, deep sermon in every song. And that's a really weird aesthetic. That's a really weird thing to drive for your music. But the instrumentals on this album are absolutely phenomenal. And you know what? I might even prefer the instrumental version of this album. But the album is great. It's a great album. It's just not easy to listen to, not something I'm going to come back to a lot. I don't even listen to Beautiful Eulogy that much, but I respect them. Let's go. We'll take off the hat for now. It'll come back later in the video. My Name Is My Name by Pusha T. This is the only Pusha T album that really, really stands out for me. Like, even Daytona, like, I liked Daytona, but I thought it was really overrated. Like, it was so hyped up in the summer of Kanye. I think it was, 2018? Yeah, when Kanye produced all these projects. And this was the one that was universally beloved, was Daytona. And I was just kind of a little bit underwhelmed by it, just because the hype was so strong with it. But this album is kind of underhyped. Like, people are not talking about My Name Is My Name enough. The production, so good. The delivery, so good. The features, so good. This is a really, really great rap album. I mean, seriously, like, people are sleeping on this, but you need to stop doing that and just listen to it, because Pusha T kills it on his debut album. I think this is his debut album officially. And yeah, don't miss this one. Made by Hawk Nelson. This is really 2013 for me, for some reason, has a lot of my most nostalgic and albums ever on it, like albums that just mean so much to me, like personally, from like my past, and therefore is one of my favorite years for music, just because so much of the music has so much meaning to me specifically, especially like Kings and Queens. Not really My Name Is My Name or Instruments of Mercy, but Kings and Queens, and this album, another Christian contemporary music album. Honestly, it's just shocking to me. Maybe it's just nostalgia. It really is difficult to talk about this album, like, objectively, because I don't know what I would say about the album or how good I would think the album is if it wasn't part of my life in middle school. And I guess even like freshman year. I don't know how I would review it, because to me this is great, but maybe it's not. I feel like it's so much nostalgia speaking, and so much. It's really what this is like, it's like pop punk, but like if you like totally sterilize the punk and there's barely any punk. That's what Hawk Nelson was. They were this really fun, upbeat pop punk band, kind of like old 5 Seconds of Summer, like very similar to old 5 Seconds of Summer, which I also like. But this was kind of different. This was more of a more slow and contemplative. There were more slow and contemplative songs. It was a little bit more serious, leaned a little bit more into the Christian contemporary music element, more into the pop than into the punk. But that wasn't a problem for me, because this is my favorite Hawk Nelson album, because I love it and it means a lot to me. Pure Heroin by Lorde. Wow. Once again, I like this album better than her freaking Melodrama, which is one of the most critically acclaimed pop albums of all time. It might be the most critically acclaimed pop album of all time. But this is one I still prefer because of nostalgic reasons. Dude, I used to listen to this when I tried to sleep. And it was like, I still don't listen to many female artists at all, but I listened to this for some reason in middle school. Probably because Team and Royals would pop up on my like radio stations I listened to. But and like I listen like dark pop music. Oh man, I listen to the dark pop. This is dark, man. It's not actually very dark or gloomy, but it is great. I think this is a really great album. Some people, this is a very polarizing album. Like, a lot of people gave it kind of mediocre reviews, and then a lot of people loved it. Like, overall, it has a very high rating on Metacritic, but at the time, it really got a lot of not so positive reviews, a lot of skeptical, and this is kind of, production's kind of bad, even though there's promise and there's potential. And I disagree. I think the production is great. It's a little bit minimalistic at times, but it works very, very well. Let me just grab this right over here, and let's just do that. And, well, let me do it so it like fits on my head a little bit better. Like, oh, nope. Let's, how about right, is that it? Nope, that's not it. How about a little bit more on this side right here, where it's a little bit wider on my, nope, what? I don't think this thing is gonna fit, and let's do it a little bit right, how about here? Hey, that works. LVNV, or LVNV, by Jay Givens. Wow. This, once again, this is crazy deep nostalgia. This is like what got me into like Humble Beast. It was Jay Givens. Even though this album, I don't think, yeah, this album was like self-produced and self-released. It wasn't actually on, even though Jay Givens became one of the most famous and notorious Humble Beast artists for his album Fly Exam, this album was released before Fly Exam. And it's not as good as Fly Exam because it's kind of overstuffed. It has like 18 tracks. And the first half is all bangers. And then the second half, the songs slow down a little bit and they are not as good. But this is still one of my all-time favorite rap albums. Even though it's only number 5 on this list. I mean, 2013 had some killer music. Not gonna lie. And honestly, it's just, even if the second half does falter a bit, which is why it's not higher on this list, I think it's still, the first half is so strong. It's, you know, it's a fantastic album. Please check it out. Number 4, Vessel by 21 Pilots. 21 Pilots, man. Yeah, this was a weird one because this album, once again, very nostalgic, very important to my past and my history. I remember being like super overwhelmingly positive when I first reviewed it, when I did my reviews like in writing. But now I don't like it as much, but really, and I barely listen to it anymore. I don't listen to 21 Pilots much, but it's so important to my history of listening to music that I had to come back to it, and I had to like look at it a little bit more objectively. And I think objectively, it's a fantastic, phenomenal album. Objectively, like, I think the lyricism is so good, the rapping is so good, the music, the production is so good. It's just such a good album. It's awesome. This is a great album. It's not even their best album. I used to think it was their best album. I think it's their second best album. Hey, you can watch the 21 Pilots ranked video. I did that recently. I'll link that in the description if I remember. Awesome. I'm still wearing the hat because now I'm talking about Talented 10th by Sho Baraka. Sho Baraka is one of the best rappers of all time. He's in my top 5. It's like Kendrick, Kanye, Sho Baraka, Kendrick, Kanye, Sho Baraka, Jay Givens, and then probably Propaganda, who's also a Humble Beast rapper. Yeah, probably. If I included rap, well, see, those are just singular rap. Anyway, let's talk about it. Talented 10th was the precursor to The Narrative, which is one of the best albums of all time, one of my personal favorites. I used to say it was my favorite album of all time. It since has gone down on that list, but it still is one of my favorites of all. It's in my top 5 of all time, probably. But yeah, this is a great album. It's a lot going on, and I can't really talk about it because it's very dense and complicated. And you really just need to listen to it and devote a lot of time to listening to it because it's very, like I said, very, very dense and difficult. But give it a shot. Hat hair's terrible. Random Access Memories by Daft Punk is a really cool album. It's not just really cool, it's the best electronic music album of the decade. It's that good. It is the best Daft Punk album. I'll link my Daft Punk ranked video if I remember to do that. I'm gonna have to link so much in this video. Oh my goodness. I'll also link that Pure Heroin review. I forgot to mention. I reviewed that on the channel not too long ago, actually. But Random Access Memories really pushes the genre of electronic music in a new direction. It really feels revolutionary. And it has the critical acclaim to back that up. It has the commercial success to back that up. It really is a legendary album in its own way, and I think it's absolutely fantastic. You need to listen to the song Touch, probably the best song of 2013, honestly. It's an amazing song. Very underrated and very underheard. A lot of people don't know about it. It's, yeah, listen to the whole album. Don't just listen to Get Lucky. Like, listen to the whole album. It's totally worth it. And my number one album of 2013 is Yeezus. Yeezus is the second best Kanye album. I'll die on that hill. It's an awesome album. And it's very, very weird. It's very hard to listen to. It's very abrasive. And I think what this is, I would say this is the greatest example of creativity in the form of music, in terms of like pure artistic expression in music. And it just so happens that it's in rap music. But to me, this is the example I go to when I want to talk about like literally just an artist just expressing themselves in music, is Yeezus by Kanye West. Look, even more so than Late Registration, which is my favorite album of all time. It's a Kanye album. It's his second album. This album is more raw and more of an expression of who he is as a person, all of his complexities and difficulties and insecurities, and egotism and narcissism. I don't think he's, well, I don't know if he's a narcissist, but check out this album. It is going to blow you away, either in a good way or in a bad way. That's all I got for 2013. Tell me what were some of your favorite albums in 2013. I'm sure I got them on this list, but maybe I didn't. What am I sleeping on? What did I not even mention? Yeah, let me know down in the comments, and have a great rest of your day.